So again, this is where the... Whoa. Right guys, Mark Crossfield here today, and we are going to be comparing the TAYLORMADE P730 up against the Callaway Apex MB two-bladed irons. Welcome to everyone on YouTube, and also welcome to all the Revolution golfers out there. Nice to chat to you. This is going to be a fun compare of two very popular, good-looking irons. So we're going to head to Dawlish Golf Club in a second and actually try these clubs on the course, which for me is the best way to try them. But we're going to talk a little bit about the tech specs to start this off. So if I look at the loft of the 7-iron on the Apex MB, it's 34 degrees. And then on the 730, it's 35 degrees. If we go to the pitching wedge, it's 47. And the pitching wedge in the Apex MB is also 47. If we go to the 4-iron, it's 23 degrees in the Callaway, and in the TAYLORMADE, it's 24 degrees. So we're talking within 1 degree to then balancing out down into the wedge's difference in lofts. If we look at the offset measurements, the offset measurement of the 7-iron is 0.09, where if we look at the offset measurement of the of the P730, it's 1.7 millimeters, they're saying. So the offset in the measured offset in the TAYLORMADE P730 is slightly more than the Apex MB. And these are things we're going to go and test, see if it makes a difference out on the golf course. I think the main thing for me with these two irons is they're two bladed irons, trying to give you kind of full control over spin and launch data, as well at the same time delivering those kind of tall classic looks. Let's get out of the course and give them a go. Right, on the course here at Dawlish, let's give them a go. Gonna start first tee shot 4-iron with the Apex MB. Now down by the ball, this is everything you'd want a blade to look like. It's chrome in its finish. Again, we see a tiny bit of offset, but next to nothing. In the 4-iron, it's frightening. It's thin on top, and obviously the sole is also very slender as well. It's a classic looking bladed iron. It's first shot of the day with a 4-iron, and it's a bladed one. Wish me luck. Oh, isn't that really nice? So I'm going to be interested to see if there's actually any difference in feeling between these two clubs, because on paper you could see it's coming down to millimeters, isn't it? The 4-iron there from the Callaway in the Apex MB feels good, it feels soft, it makes that sound you want to hear. It's kind of ticking bladed boxes, really. So it's windy and it's cold here at Dawlish today. I've now got 190 or so in, I think 189. I'm going to hit the 5-iron, I'm going to hit it hard in the TAYLORMADE P730. See if I can get it there. That is up, that is good. Wind off the left, just filtering in. Get up! It's on the front edge and release, not sure how far up the green it's got. It was always going to be the top end for me on that. Again, very hard to feel a difference between the two. I think what's really interesting as well, which people often forget when they're dry testing, and what I mean by dry testing is that kind of classic range bay, even indoor fitting studios, and I'm not putting them down because they work to a certain extent, but it's windy out here, it's cold, it's real. There's other sounds going on that make me not be able to hear the strike as well, which then makes it very hard for me to tell which one feels softer, which one feels better. You know, I'm going to go on now some more kind of really basic concepts of which one went closer or not. And I think that's why I do this most at the moment, is make sure I try and get these clubs out on the course, because it just makes the test much more real. It's going to be the environments you're playing in, day out. In the UK, you buy this set of clubs, you're going to be testing in this weather, and the same for any of you Revolution golfers over there watching in America and across the world, which I know you do. Taking the clubs out into your environment, if you get the opportunity, really helps. So it has just released onto the front of the green. Long putt now. And a point that needs to be made with bladed clubs like this, is I could hit that 5-iron hard and I was confident it was never going to fly over the back. I'm not going to get any crazy flyers like you can do with your more what people call game improvement clubs. Controlling distance is as important but often more forgotten than controlling left and right, which is where most people's focus goes. You'll be amazed how many people can actually game these kind of clubs. More than watching this video, more people think there's no chance they can game these, they're not good enough, those kind of statements. I would like to challenge that. They're not for everybody, and clubs that help you launch have got positives to them as well. But controlling distance has got to be the most underrated skill in golf, apart from with good players. So here is the 5-iron in the TaylorMade, which is always going to be a push to get there, and then I had a 4-iron in the Callaway, which is kind of pin high down here. Basically just got to hit this slope and run down onto the green, so 5-iron is just a bit short. But that's the thing with these clubs, the distance are true with both of them. The 4-iron is pitched probably 10 yards further on than the 5-iron of the opposite brand. Not sure opposite's the right word, but of the different branded club. The distances are true, and again that parts me back to distance control. Are you really thinking of that as a buying criteria? You definitely should be. So the pitching wedge in the Apex MB is beautiful. It's classic again in its looking. It's everything I would want from a pitching wedge from a good players club. The loft would seamlessly kind of link with your gapping clubs as well, and then obviously the look, if you've got specialized wedges, this is where clubs like this just blend so seamlessly with them. Bare lie, chip and run wedge, looks great. I'm dreading this one a little. So literally just got to get it over the hill. It's the bareness of the links lie that I'm not a fan of. Oh, I struck that nice. Go on. Go, 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 go. Not a bad result. And remember, there's always more than one way to make the same score in this game, and you should never let that be taken away from your custom fits as well. You've got to game these clubs, you've got to be able to score with them and do what you want to do. Hit tight chip shots, hard 5-iron, softer 4-iron. It's important that when you test in many situations. So 171 down and off the left, I'm going to hit a soft 6 in the Apex MB, and then I'm going to hit a hard 7 in the 730s. Now when it comes to the shape of these two irons, blade lengths are almost identical. Down by the ball, the Apex MB looks a fraction longer, but there's next to nothing in it. Top lines again almost identical, maybe the Apex MB with its shaping, because it's slightly more curved possibly, looks a fraction thinner, but they're very, very close. For me, out of these two, I would edge slightly more towards the TaylorMade 730s. The P730 just looks a fraction nicer in my mind. So hard 7 first, TaylorMade. Wind is really strong now. The right side, a little hold your line. Just a little bit up the right, but I reckon that's just on the fringe. Let's hit the 6 now in the Callaway. More the right club, I can just hit that normally. Again, it's all filtered off to the right. The wind is whipping across here. Again, the feel between those two, it's next to nothing. I can't really feel a difference. I'm edging towards the TaylorMade, just a fraction more on shape, but could game either of them easily. So again, this is where the 6-iron of the Callaway ended up. The TaylorMade was just shy of pin high, so the yardages they're going is exactly what I'd want them to do. Now I'm going to hit the pitching wedge in the P730, one from a bare lie, one from a slightly friendlier lie, just to give this one a go. Again, the pitching wedge, it's slightly my preferred shape, I just like it, but it's my personal shape, which is why you need to go and try, you need to get fit and compare them up for yourself, because when it comes to these clubs, which are going to be so close in performance, literally unmeasurable, and I've tried them both on launch monitors and the numbers are identical and very true to what I want a club to do. So spinning it around the number that's written on the bottom, it's a 7 iron near my 7,000 revs and going the distance I expect the 7 iron to go, which is what you expect from a true blade. I'm having to work in my preference in shapes, sounds and feels, and literally they're all the same apart from I just slightly prefer the shape of the TAYLORMADE. Bare lie, chip and run, slightly back into the wind. TAYLORMADE iron, both with the very nice pitching wedge with next to no offset. And it just feels lovely, soft, gameable. I think there's a lot of good blades out there at the minute. Go in. For me, Callaway have made a great one, but this has to be TAYLORMADE's best looking blade I think I've ever seen. So both sets of irons make me feel like I can control distance, which is what I want out of this kind of club. They also make me feel like I can hit any kind of shot, but I will lose out a little bit on the top end, so how high it can go, because it's a bladed iron compared to, say, you know, a more game improvement irons from either of the ranges of the two manufacturers. People often ask which one would I choose. I wouldn't mind which one I played. I could play both very easily, but I would choose the TAYLORMADE just on the looks. It just pips it for me. I think it's the best looking iron they've made. Post comments down below, let me know which one would you choose. Would you try them or not? Do you think you're good enough for blades or not? I'd love to hear. And the main message for me from this video is I want you to start thinking about distance control as a massive reason why your handicap isn't coming down, and maybe clubs like this can help a little with that.